Hello, Jimmy again here at the White County Public Library with our craft workshop. Today we're going to be making a musical jewelry box. We're going to be making it out of a book. The first thing you will need will be a book. Once you get your book, start to cut the book out of the binding. You can do that with a sharp knife, just cut along the edges. Once you get that cut out, then lay it aside. The next thing you need to do will be to get you some paint and start painting. I like these little foam brushes because they spread it really, really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the inside of the box. Just pour a little paint and we'll start smearing. And I use the craft paint because it dries a lot quicker than if you use a oil-based paint. So as you can see, I just smeared the paint on there. I'm going to lay the brush aside. I'm going to lay this over aside. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do will be to cut the sides. Now the sides, what I use is a poster board. You can get these at the Dollar Tree or at Walmart. You can cut those. To get the size you need, you will measure the book, how wide it is, and the length. You get here and you measure on your board. You will need 2 for the sides, 2 for the ends. So once you get those cut, then you start working on your gluing. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put a little bit of glue here and we're going to start forming a box, okay? Glue that. And take a couple of pins and pin that until it dries, okay? I'm going to do the same to the other one. Put a little glue, form it there. And do a little pinning to make sure it doesn't come apart. Okay, now once you get that done, you let it dry a little bit. You're going to bring your book back and it's dried enough to where you can go ahead and work with it. So this is going to go into the spine of the book. Take your pins out. It doesn't take that very long to dry, so you take your pins back out. Put your glue on. Make sure that you have a front and a back. See where the reading is. This will be the front, this will be the back of the bottom. This will go on the bottom. So you're going to run a little bit of glue along the edges. Then you're going to go over here to the spine and you're going to fill that full of glue. So now we're going to set this and make sure that you space this to where it is right on the edge. Then turn it up. Make sure that you push it down into the spine to make sure that it goes all the way down in, okay? So now you've got something that looks like this, okay? Now we're going to take the other end, we're going to put a little glue on both corners, and we're going to close it in. Now you've got your box made. The next thing you need to do is find out where you're going to put your music box. These little music boxes you can find at a lot of the craft stores, or if you can't find them, you can order them from the website. Take your winding, unwind it, lay it aside, and find out where you want to put this, okay? And you don't have to measure, you can pretty well eye it. Turn your book up, take your drill, and bore your hole, okay? Now you come back and you make sure that that is turned the way you want it turned this way, because it's got this where the winding goes, has to go in the hole, and it has to go pretty well even. Once you space that evenly, then put you a little bit of glue around. Make sure that it's where you need it, and mash it down real good. Now we're going to come back up here and we're going to put the winding stem back in and get it wound on. Once that gets on, then we've got the box almost completely made. Now we're going to do a little bit more painting. We're going to pour a little bit of paint in there and do this inside of the ends and the side. Okay, now we're going to let that dry. Okay, the next thing you do is we have some little wooden legs that we're going to be putting on. So we're going to turn this upside down, and we're going to put a little bit of glue on each corner, and we're going to stick a leg. Making sure this is the bottom. So there you have your box. So we need a little bit of something to pull up the lead by, so I have cut a little piece of wood off of a dowel. I'm going to center it right here, and we have a knob to open the book up. So there we have a musical jewelry box. Now you can paint this, or if you want to use it, take material or some type of paper and paper it, you can. To me, it's a little bit easier just to paint. The one thing that I want to caution is when you're working with music boxes, you can wind them too tight. If you wind it really tight, then you're not going to be able to wind it down. So just wind a little bit, let it play, and then wind again. So there is your music box. Hope you enjoyed this, and happy crafting.